What's really great, what's really exciting, is to see how people who have a taste of storytelling and travel the world are motivated and inspired, and you got a taste of that just now. And it's wonderful to watch. One of the greatest parts of this is I work with you as students, and I see you come through, and I see you tell your stories, and then we see you launch. And if I can have a bragging moment, I get to do that with my daughter, who's here, who went to Eckerd. Where is the Eckerd crowd? Okay, so Emily went to Eckerd. She was a marine biology major, is it right? And she went to University of Hawaii. We're working on getting them here. Actually, we're working on getting us there. And she got a marine biology degree there. And now she's an outreach biologist for the U.S. Geological Survey, designing climate change curricula and other things for the Pacific Islands. So, Emily, bravo to you. It's in my job description to be really proud of my kids, but the story, right? She's a compelling character. I'm related to her, trust me. But the story is great because this is what you will do with all of this. It is a great pleasure and privilege now to introduce to you and invite up the ambassador from the great nation and island of Iceland. Bergdís Ellertsdóttir, come on up. And we'll take the two middle chairs here for a few minutes.
Okay, thank you.
We are thrilled you're here. We're going to visit your country, and we're going to announce our winners here in just a few minutes. But start with for people who might not know, there's a very strong climate commitment that Iceland has made with some targets. So what are those?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me to be here today. And I'm thrilled that the winners this year are going to Iceland, and we can go into that later on.
Yeah.
But am I too old to apply?
No, come with us. It's fine.
Exactly. I don't want to go to Iceland. I want to participate in this.
Okay, well, you want to go out to the ranch and do some research?
Why? Why not? I just feel that this is such an important work you're doing here, and what I've heard so far, I checked, online earlier today, and there are so many inspiring stories, and I'm just, I'm amazed, I must say, and I'm really sad that my university days are over. I would like to relive this in this way.
GW will always welcome you back.
Thank you.
There's always another degree.
Exactly. No, thank you so much. And I mean, of course, Iceland, like any other country, is trying to do its share. I mean, we are a part of the Paris commitments, and we are trying to go faster than like kind of the basic commitments you're supposed to be doing there. And hopefully we will be carbon neutral by 2040.
What does that mean, carbon neutral, for a country to be carbon neutral?
That means that we will have a lot of electric cars. No, it means a lot of things. But I want to just underline, and the people who are going to Iceland will see this, that we are blessed with green energy. We have geothermal and hydro energy. So all our houses, all the electricity comes from renewable sources. So our starting point, to be fair to other countries who will not be reaching carbon neutrality by 2040. I mean, we started here, and most of the other countries are starting there. What we use fossil fuels is for transport and for our fishing fleet, because anyone who goes to Iceland or knows Iceland knows that we're all about fish. So, of course, marine biology is really important to us. So, so that is, the commitments are there, and we are also working hard on all sorts of innovation. Startup companies with young people are really important. We have people who are developing all sorts of new technologies, for example, carbon capture, carbon management, which is really exciting. And we had a really big conference here last fall called Our Climate Future. And there I was amazed to see all these young people who are, introducing working on new technologies, innovation. And what I was also very impressed by is how many women are now in the forefront of this. And because the energy sector tends to be very male-dominated. But now more and more women are taking over. And we saw also from the Antarctica with 6 women and 1 guy there. And I think this is part of a development, at least what we see in Iceland, is that women are like 2/3 of university students. So I think, in a few years, most of the scientists will
see ya.
female. Exactly, exactly.
I have a question for the audience, for the students in the audience. How many of you are interested in either going into public service or something else related to climate change or sustainability as a career? Okay, that's a lot of hands. I was fascinated to learn from you when we were talking the other day about the youth council that Iceland has to the prime minister.
Yes.
Would you tell us about that? Because our theme today is all in.
Exactly.
And it is young people who are driving this. It is young people who are demanding, sorry, we're not patient anymore, get going, and youth have been drivers of change and revolution, in fact, throughout the ages.
Exactly.
So what's happening in Iceland?
So in 2018, in connection with the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations, the Prime Minister decided to establish a youth council, and this council would be representatives from all over the country, kids from the age of 13 to 18.
13 to 18.
Exactly, and they apply, so it's advertised and they apply, and in the beginning there was like a committee who selected kids and tried to have, inclusiveness, boys and girls, and from all of the country, and they meet and regularly meet with the government. They also always send a representative to any major UN meetings in which they are part of the delegation of the government, and they also get the opportunity to speak. And this has become really an important part of the way we are dealing with the climate crisis, and trying to, because the idea of the Prime Minister was not to have a top-down approach to this, but to have a bottom-up. And there, of course, youth is important. And then, I just wanted to, because I saw the other day that she had recently said, and I think this is really, young people have shown with inspirational examples that they are amazingly capable of mobilizing one another. And in many cases, they are the best advocates of more equitable and sustainable future, their own future. And of course, what she also said, that they are also fantastic in holding us, those in power, accountable, expecting less talk and more action. And I think
who's that?
This is the Prime Minister. She is a young woman from the Left Green Party, and she said that she went into politics because of her passion for the environment and for the climate crisis.
How did you get to be an ambassador?
It's a long story. No, but I mean, it's a lot of hard work, and I didn't really expect that I would become an ambassador. It was a dream of mine. I was a reader as a kid, did not do any sports. I just was in my room reading books all day long, and somehow this idea came into my head that this would be a great way of life, to be a diplomat. And I was actually surprised myself when it did come true, because I grew up in a suburbia. My parents didn't have a lot of money. I didn't know anyone in government or anyone in the diplomacy world. And my parents were like, where did this idea come from, But I love my job.
So what do you want to change?
I want to change a lot of things. But I have two daughters who are in their 20s, one in her late 20s. And, people ask me, so don't you want to be a grandma? And I'm like, I don't know. What kind of a world would these kids be born into? So I really think that this climate crisis is what we need to. This is the job we need to do. And if storytelling, like all the great stories we have been told here today, if they can move people into action, I think that would be what I would like to see.
That's great. Thank you. So when we're going to be going, and we're going to be talking to the folks from Lindblad Expeditions in just a minute, because thanks to them, we'll be going to Iceland. But is there anything for us to do besides being on a ship while we're there? Can you help us with that?
Yeah. Well, I envy you about the ship. I love the ocean.
It's a nice ship.
Exactly. Like everyone in Iceland, we live by the sea, by the ocean. The ocean is important. But I would like to help you arrange, and I would arrange that you have a visit to a geothermal plant, which is not far from Reykjavik. And the funny, Reykjavik actually means smoky city. So when the first settlers came, they saw smoke coming up from the earth, which is steam from the hot water, which is all over the place, and so hence the name. So close to Reykjavik is a very interesting plant where you can learn about how geothermal energy is harnessed, and also there is a project there on carbon management,
carbon sequestration.
Yeah, it will be put into
storage
stones, like lava stones, basalt stones.
So we could see that.
Yeah, and learn all about it.
That would be great. Thank you very much.
No,
We're going to
please.
look forward to that. I want to just come back to geothermal for just a very quick minute to explain to people how much of the energy that is generated in your country is actually generated by geothermal and hydro. Like, how much of it is renewable now, and where are you headed?
So 90% of all energy used, if we just take out transport, all other energy is either geothermal or hydro.
So 90% of your electricity generation is...
It's 90 plus.
90 plus percent.
Yeah.
So we got a long way to go here, but that's going to be something fascinating to see. Thank you very much. This has been great.
Yeah, I want to actually leave a book with you.
Okay.
Because this has all been about storytelling, and this is a book by an author in Iceland, but it's on the climate crisis, on time and water, about glaciers. It's the stories of his grandparents, and the reason he wrote this book is that he met a scientist, and he said, "Why don't you write about the climate crisis?" He said, "Well, the scientists are doing that. They have all the, data." And this guy says, "Yeah, but they don't know about communication." So he wrote this book to communicate what the climate crisis is.
I love
for
it.
the scientists.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Where is Jim Beiser still in the room? Where is Jim? Jim's right here. My friend Jim Beiser and I have a shared friend named Kathy Jacobs. And Kathy Jacobs, who actually was a Middlebury student as well, worked in the Obama White House for climate assessment and adaptation. And she came to my class one day, and I swear to you I did not write this for her. Okay. But she said to my class, she said, "We don't have a science crisis, we have a communication crisis."
Exactly.
And so this book is going to be great reading, and thank you very much. And maybe you'll come back up after and join us on stage in a few minutes.
I will.
Thank you so much. Wonderful.